Hampshire captain Jimmy Adams was the only man to quell a resurgent Gloucestershire on a rain-affected opening day of the LV County Championship clash in Bristol. Adams won the toss and batted on a murky morning, but decided to have a bat to take on the home side's injury-ravaged attack. With Michael Carberry on England Lions duty, he opened with himself and Michael Roberts, who was playing in only his second first-class match. Not too much had happened in the opening 8 overs, but then Gloucestershire really started to take control with the ball. Will Gibman delivered an outstanding opening spell in which he had Roberts caught at the wicket for 9, while Liam Dawson edged him to a diving Mike Klinger, who held on well at third slip. 16 for 2 was not a good start, but it almost became 16 for 3 as George Bailey did his best to get run out first ball after a mix-up with his captain. Not that Bailey lasted too much longer. Having made 13, he was bowled off the inside edge by Craig Miles at 34 for 3. 10 runs later, and James Vince continued the procession as he was given out LBW to Miles for 9. The horrific number of injuries to this attack had given Miles his chance, and he soon had a third wicket as Sean Irvine sliced him to Dan Housego. And when Adam Wheater was legged before to Jack Taylor, Hampshire went to lunch on 69 for 6. Chris Wood was also out soon after the restart, allowing David Balcombe to have a bit of a thrash. What Hampshire really needed was to have someone to stick out with Adams, who was in danger of batting through an innings for the second time already this summer. There was an even better chance of him doing that when Balcombe was out with a total on 97 for 8. The last time Adams did it, he struck a double 100 as his side amassed 500 against Worcestershire. This story was a little different to that. Finally, he did get the support he needed from the rather unlikely figure of Danny Briggs. With a batting average barely into double figures and a top score of 38 not out, Gloucestershire would not have expected him to help out his captain, but that's exactly what he did as the home attack ran out of steam a little. With that, Adams reached a high-quality 50 given all that had gone on around him. He got there with a guided couple off Benny Howell, a man who didn't last long as a player at Hampshire. Adams had been the outstanding player in his team, reaching his half-century off 126 balls, in which he'd struck 6 boundaries. And as it turned out, he was still there at the close of play with Briggs, who, by the time that the rain intervened half an hour before tea, had made 25. Adams himself ensured that batting first after winning the toss was not such a disastrous decision, although we will need to bat for a while yet to earn a par score, you feel. He will resume on the second morning, weather permitting of course, with 74 runs to his name, and that's been made out of his side's 165 for 8. In spite of a 9th wicket partnership of 68, there is still a good chance that Hampshire will be bowled out for fewer than 200 for the third innings in succession.